Okay, let's see where I am with respect to the low buy, no buy that has ended at the end of October. And it was faithfully lasted probably, I would say, half a year. And then the pandemic happened, then I moved, a lot of things happened. So let's see where we are. So last time we talked about all things beauty, I did a full inventory of a scary large stash that I acquired as a beauty blogger over, I don't know, 7 years on being YouTube. And that was something. It was clear that the area where I had a lot but useful things was my hair care, mostly hair coloring. I'm not really an adept at when it comes to hair. It's probably one of my weakest points aesthetically, in terms of having kind of like, not even aesthetically, kind of like having a craft, having a skill. I always felt quite powerless to make my hair look like I wanted without inflicting severe damage on it. That was always something at play. Like, yes, there are like standard ways of doing a blowout or doing coloring, but most of them, after repeated use of those blow drying hot tools and products, eventually will just leave me without hair at all. My hair is not super voluminous, it's not super dense, it's very thin, it's very prone to breakage. So when it came to probably 2 years ago, I realized that there's a whole new generation of products that you can use for coloring your hair that are not as harsh and that are more fun, especially for fine hair that is fairly thin and absorbs pigments fairly well. So that's when I actually went crazy on all kinds of color pigments. I was not the first to the game. Many of you know that the music festival culture has been going on for a while, and that kind of brought to the mainstream again the concept of brightly colored hair or tinted hair. So this is the area probably that we're gonna start with. I showed you that I had many products. I already did a in my view, useful comparison of different pigments and tints. So most of the things that I use here are going to be from 3 brands. I use Overtone, I'm just using up and stopping using Lime Crime pigments, and I started, but I'm not sure if it'll continue, using Pulp Riot pigments. If you want to know more about the whole shebang with the hair, I have like a dedicated video about that. But today, we're just gonna do a check-in. I've used up 7 full-size tubs of hair pigments. I've been enjoying so much mixing, matching, doing different kind of shifts. One of the hardest ones that I've attempted so far, and today I'm actually just showing you no any kind of product, just like the bare hair, what it looks, my transition from the bright, very warm red orange to the kind of wolf gray. I think I'm doing fairly fine now, but again, since I'm applying pigments to an unprocessed natural hair, first of all you get uneven color and you get very quick fading, which I'm fairly okay with. Because I do like a variation of tints. I do like a kind of a multicolored, almost somewhat multi-chrome effect that you get. As long as you're not set on getting that particular shade, using pigments on natural hair is fun because you always get different shades and you get different variations as the hair washes off. The ones that I've finished over the past month and a half are the 2 tubs of Overtone, which is Extreme Red and Extreme Pink. I kind of learned my lesson with Overtone. I prefer to buy extreme versions or bright versions, the vibrant I think they're called, because if I want a more pastel or lighter, not as intense version of the same kind of color, I can just easily mix it in with any hair conditioner, apply it as a mask, hold it for like 20-30 minutes, again depending on how deposition of the pigment I want. And I kind of saved money with that, with buying more concentrated, vibrant color versions and then kind of diluting them down if I need to. So I used up extreme pink that I've been mixing with blue and purple to kind of contrast and tone down, first contrast and then tone to the right hue of gray that I wanted from the bright orange red. And this is basically the extreme red that I've been using for that orange red color initially. I think I will continue to buy Overtone. It's not cheap, they rarely ever have any sales, but I do enjoy the conditioning aspect of their pigments, and so far they're one of the best that I tried. Maybe though not the ones that last the longest in terms of the effect of the pigments. The ones that last the longest, I would say, are Pulp Riot pigments. The same concept, I wouldn't call them as conditioning, nearly as conditioning as Overtone. So I would say they're kind of neutral on the hair health. But these, specifically this line, I think it's called... I think they have like different different hair pigment lines. I think it's called Neon maybe, or Neon Pop. So Satire is probably the most vibrant and long-lasting kind of like orange yellow or chicken yellow color that I've ever seen. So if you're looking for that kind of impact, this is probably the one, you like one and done kind of situation for probably several months. And similar situation with the nuclear shade here. I also used up a different, there's a different line from the same brand, Pulp Riot, it's called Lemon. It was more like a neon yellow, but it only really works on a completely bleached hair, while these guys work fairly well on like naturally light hair, and they deposit a lot of pigment and they kind of more true to color. This stuff only for maybe toning or mixing or applying to a wig, or I mean like a blonde wig or bleached hair. So not all the pigments are actually born the same. That's what I learned so far, and I'm trying to kind of like propel this knowledge further. I used up 2 pastel toning pigments by Lime Crime. One is kind of, as you see, lavender is oyster, and another one more like, what would you call this, like a periwinkle pastel blue. This is called Cloud. All right, I have a lot of good and bad things to say about Lime Crime. Maybe I should refer you to my review, but long story short, they're okay, the pastel versions. If you're applying them on the bleached hair, they will give you decent pastel results, but their brights are super leaky. They tint every single thing that your hair touches, pillows, clothing, furniture, anything, and they just keep leaking the pigment, and it's just like it's the fastest way. These pigments is the fastest way to just ruin your bathroom, and then like spending probably next 2 weeks trying to like wash off all the stains of it. But the pastels are all right, but that's the only thing I can say about it. They're all right and there's nothing special. So Lime Crime, actually I'm using up the last ones and I'm done with pigments from Lime Crime. So 7 out, but 7 in. So when I decided to transition to the Wolf Gray, I knew that I needed purple and blue, because by the color theory, to cancel yellowish orange toward red, you need what, like red is the green, you know, like it's just the opposites. And it turned out to be a very notable challenge for me. I'm still not fully satisfied with the results, because getting this or that shade of orange is not even that perceptible to the eye. But if you can get the exact match of color opposites, you will not get the gray. You'll get the green, the blue, purple, pink, whatever, but you will not get the gray. You have to be so precise in the way that you mix pigments and that the way that you take into account the natural pigments of the hair into account, then it's like almost a mission impossible. But what I've been using so far is Pulp Riot, this line, I think it's called Neo Pop, that I showed you before. Because I figured they are the brightest, they're the biggest buck for my, the biggest punch for the buck. So I got 2 of the Nightfall, which is a very, very dark, warm blue, and I apply it to the roots. I got a bright periwinkle blue. Right now I'm just mixing it because I don't really want the blue effect. But again, like these kind of color is only gonna really work on bleached hair. My hair, as I told you, is not bleached, so I'd never expect that kind of result. And eventually I gave up because I just couldn't. I would either get like some like dark purple, blue, or mint, even mint color, or some aqua green. It was a disaster. So I eventually caved in and bought the usual line that they have in the shade Smoke, which is slightly purplish gray. Purple, it's for the reason that is like 99% of hair have a yellow tinge, and the purple will kind of cancel out the natural yellow tinge of the hair pigments and bring it finally to the right gray. And so far it's been helping. This is probably the best way to do it, with certain accents if you want to gonna get a somewhat iridescent effect on your hair. So it's been working out really well, and I also bought myself a backup just in case I want to go back to the warm color, a backup of Satire and the red color for mixing. I think it's called Fireball. Yep. So that's that with pigments, 7 out, 7 in. And to really get the kind of the steel chrome effect and kind of wolf gray that I call it, the only thing that really helped me was this silver spray by L'Oreal. I looked for cheap alternatives. Apparently outside of kind of glitter pageant hairspray, there's not many options, oddly enough, on the market. And it's a really small bottle to cost $10. You use it up really fast. So this is the empty, but the effect that I was getting was so good and exactly what I wanted. You can see in my latest videos, I always apply this silver kind of like overspray that I bought myself 2 more. And I'm just gonna show you how it really works. So this is my hair as it is. You can see a certain variation of color, and you can also see just kind of like the natural beige that is peeking through. So what I usually do, I just apply it, kind of trying to protect my skin. And you get very beautiful, more mirror-like finish. And it really brings it back into the neutrality of kind of like dark tarnished silver, if you wish. So that's the way I've been kind of achieving the total look, and I love it. And so far I'm willing to pay $10 for these teeny tiny bottles, but I'm not sure that if this is low maintenance enough for me to recommend it to you guys. So yeah, the hair experiments so far have been doing satisfactory. Not as easy and fun as it used to be, and I think I learned my lesson. Trying to get a truly neutral color is one of the hardest things to do. Bright red, bright orange, bright purple, whatever, any brights are fairly easy actually, but getting to an exact shade, it's a whole another challenge. Anyway, let's continue. A little bit about makeup. I've been diligently working through a few makeup items that I have in my collection, and I achieved an inevitable conclusion that sometimes is not really worth my time. So the 2 items that are leaving, one is drying out. It's very clumpy mascara by Buxom. It's called Big Tease. I did enjoy it when it was fresh, and it really gives you these like very thick, big lashes. They do look spidery and they do look fake, but they are big, and this is what I want because I have almost no lashes. My lashes are close to non-existent. So it's fun when it's new, but it's not fun almost a month after. And I find that with kind of clumpy, thick mascaras like this, you're better off buying a travel size or like using your points to get a sample than actually shelling your money for the full size, because it will dry up way faster than you have time to actually use it up. So this is leaving my collection. I'm not gonna rebuy the Buxom mascara. And this I just hated so much. I used to love it when I was in my early 20s, but I think it was truly like just a marketing effect, you know, like the branding effect. This is Guerlain Maxi Lash, and now it comes with a rubber brush, which they don't really work on very well. I think they probably work well on already naturally bushy, kind of like big eyelashes that you only need just to separate and maybe curl a little bit. In my case, you need to create the effect of an eyelash that is not quite there. So I just hated it so much. I can't stand how heavily perfumed the Guerlain makeup and skincare products are, because it makes them almost painful to use. I do love perfumes, don't take me wrong, but when your lipstick or your mascara, if you can smell your mascara an hour after applying your makeup, it just doesn't feel right. And also anything that goes so close to the waterline, you know, like to the sensitive areas where you can like tasting your lipstick, you know, and smelling your lipstick for an hour, it's just not the right place, I think, to put so much odorants. Skincare makeup, I think, should be fairly neutral in the way they smell, or fairly faint. It's just, I don't know. Let me know if you disagree. For me, it turns out I find very perfumed makeup and skincare products irritating and really annoying just on a like emotional basis. So Maxi Lash I'm just throwing away. I can't make myself use it. And the one that I'm just gonna be continuing to buy, and I think I have like 2 backups, which is not a good idea for mascara, but again, overspending. My past, I still have to catch up with my past and like get over the whole like getting backups of things. This is Monsieur Big by Lancôme. All in all, one of the best mascaras on the market. I see like at this point still no point even trying anything new. When it comes to other makeup products, my fight to get fewer powders in my collection is raging. I'm really working through a lot of powders and it takes forever. So the one that I finished mostly because I almost finished it, but then it just broke and it was too painful to use because I would constantly smear it all over my clothes, was a beautiful SPF powder, one of the best ones. And I used to buy backups on Amazon or eBay or anywhere I could find it. This is Physicians Formula Healthy Wear SPF 50 powder. I swear by it, all of my friends that I showed it swear by it, but it's no longer on the market. And all other replacements that I've seen don't even come close in terms of how well they work as a mattifying powder and a protectant against the sun. Like the effect was amazing. You could see like the if you didn't really blend the powder very well, you could see the difference between like taking a bike ride or like even a walk in Florida sun. After 15 minutes, you can see the difference. Like the skin that's protected by this powder and the part of the skin that's not. It's crazy good, but I feel so bad about it being discontinued because now I don't have a good SPF powder. If you know any, please let me know. I'm on the hunt currently, but first I need to finish a few that I already have. Okay. All right, nail story. Only showing it because it's a super duper must have for me. Nail Teaks Formula 2. My nails are fairly good shape. Let's say like I'm proud of what my mom gave me in terms of the shape of my nails. However, they are very soft, they are very peely, they have almost like no stamina in them. So it's a mission impossible for me to grow longer nails. But even getting them to function at all, I need to apply protective base coats. Otherwise, just normal activities like washing my hands or washing dishes or doing anything of that kind makes them peel and even more, which becomes very painful. So the one that I found that works miraculously and I've been using for years, and I heavily recommend you to try if you have a similar kind of nails, is Nail Teaks Formula 2. Very hard to find. It's very expensive. It's, I think, around $20 for a 15 milliliters, which is half ounce. And I buy my stash, my backups from Target every once in a while. It lasts a long time. It used to come with a thinner, which I thought was ingenious, but again, impossible to find. I don't know what I will do if Nail Teaks is no longer around. I honestly have no idea, because nothing else. And I think at some point I had like 20 different bases from all brands, you name it, I had it. Orly, OPI, Zoya, Bada London, anything, I had it. And nothing really helped to kind of glue the nails together so they would not constantly peel and just you could like tear them like a paper. It was so bad. And this is the only thing that has a lot of protein and a lot of kind of glue-like ingredients that once you apply it, it really hardens them and kind of makes them more elastically resistant to any kind of deformation or breakage. I pray that this stays on the market. This is the best and the only thing that works for my nails. Quick note on the hair. I got myself a mixing bottle and the brush. I've been using just an old painting brush, and let me tell you, if you ever try to color your hair at home, getting any kind of brush, it doesn't have to be super professional, but like a wider synthetic brush for hair coloring, any Chinese version, eBay, Amazon, it doesn't have to be a name brand, will show you how easy it is and how big of a difference it really makes. So if you've been cutting your own hair lately or anytime and are thinking about dyeing your own hair, this is well worth the investment. Get yourself, mixing bowl is really nothing special. You can use any bowl, but getting a hair dye brush, it makes a lot of difference. They are wider than any other brushes, and they're like the certain pliability of these little hairs they're just like they are done just so to make the application, especially to the roots and like a separation and coloring everything thoroughly through, that much easier, much easier than without it. All right, so with the pigment 7 in, 7 out, with the nails 1 out, just replacement 1 in. And again, if you have problematic, very thin, peely nails, Formula 2 Nail Teaks, just try it. I know it's expensive, but instead of buying, like imagine buying 10 different ones, each like $6, you will spend more money on that and just not finding a satisfactory product, rather than trying something that truly amazingly works. When it comes to skincare, very few updates. I'm not really working through my skincare nearly as fast as I hoped I would. I finished Mediheal, I think it's Korean, it's a Korean brand, Mediheal NMF Intensive Hydrating Cream. They have like this whole blue line, which is very cheap on iHerb, and very good skincare. It's like solid, no complaints, no any kind of problems, moisturizes, refreshes. I especially recommend the Mediheal tonic, because that one is a little bit gel-like, and it does an amazing job if you have dry skin. So like just washing your face and then just applying a little bit of that toner from the Medi-Heal. I'm trying to show you the packaging. I think the toner costs maybe $9 to $12, and it's like it's a good sized bottle. I love it. I love their toner even more than I love any other product by this brand. But I'm just surprised how good quality the skincare is from a brand that I never heard of before. And it's actually like, it doesn't really look expensive. It doesn't look like luxurious, but it works. And I heard it from a number of bloggers that are focusing on kind of thoughtful ingredient choices in their skincare, and a lot of them recommend Medi-Heal. So great stuff, and it's not expensive at all. Finishing up, there's like, I think I have like it's on the last leg, the Algenist Genius Ultimate Anti-Aging Eye Cream. I used to swear by their eye balm, which is in the white packaging. This is a very thick, almost pomade kind of thing. So you don't really get a cream. You almost, it's almost like, I don't know how to call it. It's like so dense, almost like butter. So you kind of warm it up with your finger and then you try to spread it. It's a little bit odd. The consistency of it is a little bit odd, but it does last much longer because of that. So I do recommend it if you don't mind the consistency, because it does very good job with moisturizing the under eye area. Would I buy it again? I don't know. I kind of want to try something new now. If you have any really good eye cream that you would recommend, please let me know. I'm on a hunt for a replacement because this is my only one and it's almost done. This is like the point where I'm really proud of myself. I had one, I used it up, I'm looking for a replacement. This is like probably the only item in this whole video that is like true to the motto of less but better.